Hello, I'm Samuel Hearn, and this is my second video assignment for Spanish 160C. And this is about the movie we watched, Cativa, which is based on real events that happened in Argentina, um, about how political prisoners would disappear due to forces of the Argentinian government or dictatorship, and how the main character Cristina was separated from her parents. Um, by the process of what did happen is what political prisoners that were about to give birth would be taken and the children would be separated. And people who held positions in military power, for example, Christine's adoptive father was a police chief of some sort that had connections to other government officials that were able to kidnap Christina from her original parents and give them to him and his wife, the adoptive parents. And the main character, Christina, discovers this through a judge that pulls her aside from a private school and introduces her to a real grandmother. When this initially happens, Christina doesn't really know what to think about that, and she runs away and is picked up by her adoptive father, which we learn again, which were reinforced that he is a retired captain of federal police, uh, which is why he and Christina's adoptive mother um, both live kind of like in a higher class area, and he drives like a newer car. And when we're introduced to Christina's grandmother, it's a different like economic hierarchy that we see here, where she drives like an older car, like and the house is a little more bare than the original house that had like phone, refrigerator, like everything was very nice in the original house, and in the new house that she goes to, it's a little different. Um, and when Christina goes to the grandmother's house and she sees her mother's old room, um, we see she has like memorabilia here for like a political protesting and some background as to why her mother was taken by the government or disappeared. Um, and we're also uh, through a witness, we're told the story of how Christina was separated from her biological mother, where she was taken as a political prisoner and she was taken to a hospital just to give birth, then separated after that. And both her biological mother and father are presumed to be dead because they were been disappeared by the Venezuela or the Argentinian government. Um, and and also there's a scene in the movie, I don't have it here, but we are shown a protest, the grandmothers of Plaza de Mayo, where they march and they march and they try to like make their voice heard to bring awareness to the missing children that have been taken by the Argentinian government during the 70s and 80s. Um, oh, and you just scene from the movie where it's established that her mother like kind of scratches at the wall, like, "Hey, my child was born here," which is then uh, retold to Christina, well, Sophia, um, by the witness, which was one of the nurses. And also seen here is that father, the chief of police, had connections with her godfather, or well, adoptive godfather, um, Glowworm is what he's called. Um, and this like connection is then revealed here, like how like it presents a situation where even though they're his like her adoptive parents have been with her for like 15 years or so, like raising her, it still doesn't absolve the adoptive father from his direct involvement with what happened to her biological parents. And if this point in the story was not established, then it would be a little like hard to say like, oh, maybe he didn't really know, or maybe the adoption wasn't as malicious as it was. But it's shown definitively, even as chief of police, he had connections to the people who would have had a very powerful role in making her parents disappear over their political differences. Well, not political differences, just them speaking out against the dictatorship. Any sort of political ideology that would threaten the dictatorship would be they would be disappeared over that. Like there was very little tolerance for that. My final thoughts in this movie is that I think it's a great like representation of what the children that have been gone missing and displaced from their original families have had to go through, the ones that have been at least found, that is, that their adoptive parents, would have had a role somehow in their biological parents disappearing or being gone or being disappeared. It's I think it's a great like representation of that, and it's really well done, I think. But yeah, thank you for watching.